Hey everyone, quarantine day 12. It is Wednesday, March 25th. Today we are talking about scales. Exciting, right? Look, I know you don't like working on scales. No one really does. But maybe if we explain our common scales a little more, their uses, their background, it might be a little bit more interesting. So let's start with some background. Scales are a series of notes based on common patterns we find in music. I know the common thought is the other way around. People use scales in writing music, but it's actually a practice technique to help you prepare for when those common patterns are found in music. And I hate to say it, but it works. Let's talk about our Ionian scales. Oh, don't look confused. You know your Ionian scales, don't you? You start with the tonic, move a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Sounds like this. That is a major scale, you're saying? Well, sure, you're correct there. You can call it that. But there's a whole world of scales out there that we call the church modes. And their names can be intimidating, but it's really not too bad. Our good old favorite major scale is called Ionian. If we take those exact same notes, but start and end on the second step, we call it a Dorian scale. On the third step, it's a Phrygian scale. On the fourth step is Lydian. On the fifth is Mixolydian, which is a fun word to say. On the sixth is Aeolian. And on the seventh is Locrian. These scales were used in early church music, especially when looking at the earlier chant styles such as plain chant, organum, or Gregorian chant. Though they're not as commonly used today, there's some absolutely gorgeous music based on them, and it's not a bad idea to practice them. The two church mode scales that we still use regularly are the Ionian scale, which is our major scale, and the Aeolian scale, which is our natural minor scale. Let's move back to that Aeolian natural minor scale. It's made up of the tonic, a whole step, a half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. And it sounds like this. There are actually three different minor scales. The natural minor, which we just played, the melodic minor, the harmonic minor. As the names imply, the melodic minor uses the patterns commonly found in melodies in pieces in a minor key. The harmonic minor uses the patterns commonly found in the harmonies of a piece in a minor key. Next, let's talk briefly about pentatonic scales. No, pentatonic is not just the name of the a cappella group though they're pretty awesome. A pentatonic scale is a scale with 5 notes per octave, as opposed to the heptatonic scale with 7 notes per octave, such as the major and minor scales we were just talking about. A lot of ancient music and what we would now consider folk music use the pentatonic scales. And they developed similarly yet independently. An example of a major pentatonic scale would be C, D, E, G, A. And it would sound like this. There are a bunch of different pentatonic scales based on which notes from the heptatonic scale are emitted, and they change the feeling drastically. In jazz, we talk a lot about the blues scale. This is because, generally speaking, once you find what key you're in, you can use the notes of that blues scale in any order and just make up a solo. A blues scale is tonic, flat third, fourth, sharp fourth, fifth, and flat seventh. It sounds like this. Being familiar with these scales helps you a lot. Your sight reading will get better, as will your intonation and your ability to improvise. So I recommend you start by learning your major scales in every key. I know it's a lot. If you're going to do jazz, you should probably next learn your blues scale in every key. Last, I would recommend learning your natural minor scale in each key. It's a lot of scales, I know, but it really does help. Tackle it maybe one at a time and keep adding more scales to your vocabulary, and you will find it helps your playing. That's it for today. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. This video is going to have a bloopers reel. There are a bunch of different. I said different. No, Pentatonic is not just the name of the a cappella group. No, Pentatonic is not just the name of the a cappella group. Actually, I know the common thought is the other way around. We'll edit that out. Try this again. From the heptatonic scale. We're going to say that again.